What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of Elite Fleet. And no intro today because I want to talk to you guys. I want to get serious because, as y'all probably heard by now, Takeoff has passed away. R.I.P Takeoff. Any of his friends, family, or anyone who feels personally affected by it, because I know sometimes when you know a celebrity or you feel like you know a celebrity, just like when Kobe Bryant passed away and others, it could hurt you on an emotional level, even if you never met the person. So R.I.P. to Takeoff, and then all his fans, friends, family members who may be hurt by the loss. But if you're thinking when you read the story, Takeoff was playing dice and he got killed during the dice game. And if you think that sounds familiar, then you're right, because it sounds just like Duke the Jeweler. And you keep seeing situations like this. Just like Pop Smoke. He had a party. The party got posted on Instagram. They ran up in his crib, killed him. PNB Rock. Okay, he was at the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. It got posted on Instagram. He got killed. And we're not even going to get into rather or not was because it was posted online, because that's irrelevant. My point is, we keep running into the same problems, and I want to use this to talk about something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough and can't be talked about too much, and that's the guilt of being successful as a black person in America. There's a guilt associated when you're a black American, okay? It's not the same if you're African, I'm sorry. It's not the same if you're Caribbean, I'm sorry. I'm talking about foundationally black Americans, people who are born in America of black descent. There's a guilt attached to your success. And I'm not going to say it doesn't happen in other communities, right? But the thing is, if you are of white or Caucasian descent, right, and you go on to become a lawyer, you go on to become a doctor, you go on to become an engineer, right, you're looked at as the standard. Everybody looks up to you. Everybody wants to be like you. They don't tell you should try to relate to the trailer park or go back to the trailer park or chill with your meth head cousins or whatever the case may be. Nah, they tell them they should be more like you and try to figure out what you're doing. Same thing in the Asian community. In the Asian community, if you become a scientist at NASA, right, or you become an actuary, or you get any high level of achievement, you become a CEO or something, again, they're not going to tell you to go hang out with the triads. You're considered the standard of success. They're going to tell the lower people of the realm to try to step up to you. But in the black community, and to an extent it's like this in the Hispanic community too, from what I can see, there's always this stigma of, okay, you made it. Now what you going to do for your friends and family who didn't make it? What you going to do for the hood that you grew up in? What you going to do for the community? What you going to do for the block? Or is you going to be a sellout? Or is you going to be an Uncle Tom? And what it does is it puts an unfair expectation and weight on the shoulders of successful black people that they can't even really live up to, because even if you do donate, even if you do go back to the community, it's never going to be enough. And every time you go back, you're putting your life at risk. And it's like, for what? Just so people can say you a real N-word or you a real B? And it's not really worth it. And it reminds me, I want to tell y'all this story because it reminds me of when I was talking to my cousin. We was leaving the Washington Wizards game, right? We had front row seats, damn near at the floor. We leaving the game, and I just seen her face look kind of perplexed. I knew she was going to ask me something. And my cousin, she bought a house like 3 years ago. Beautiful house, right? Nice house. And she just had a baby about a year and a half ago. And this conversation was probably about 7 or 8 months ago, right? So baby not even 1 yet at this time. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, what's up? And she's like, I want the family to see my baby, but I don't want to bring my baby back to the hood. I don't even want to go back to the hood. I don't want to bring my husband back to the hood. I don't really want to go there, right? And my thing is, so 2 years ago, during the pandemic, I lost all my remaining grandparents. I lost my grandfather on my dad's side, my granddad on my mom's side, my grandma on my mom's side, right? And I said then, for those of you who follow this channel, you already know I'm from the hood, right? In New York. I said then, when we was just talking about it, I told everybody at the table, I was like, I don't really see myself ever coming back here. And they was like, for real? I was like, what's the point? Now that grandma and granddad have passed away, and my grandparents were in their mid to late 90s when they passed away. So at the time they brought their house, it was not the hood. But that's what it devolved into, right? And I was like, well, now that they're gone, I don't see a reason to even come back here. I don't see a reason to put myself at this risk. And if my family wants to see me, they're more than welcome to come see me in the DMV. They're more than welcome. See, I come from the type of family where the majority of my family is hood rats and hood dudes, right? That's the majority of them. The majority of them move push drugs. The majority of them, they get government assistance, or they just work very lower income. They live very lower income, right? But you got me, I excelled, right? My cousin, who I was just talking to y'all about, she excelled. My sisters excelled. My little sister's in college right now, right? Another one of my cousins, he excelled. He lived up here in the DMV with us. And another one of my cousins, she excelled. She lived up here in the DMV with us. So my cousin was saying, she was like, I know they talk about us. Like, even right now, we leaving this game, I know they probably talk about us, and they probably call us bougie and stuff. Like, she's like, they call my house the mini mansion, and it's like, I don't really like that because I know it's shade. And she's like, I know they talk about us, and I know they feel like we think we better and all this stuff. And I told her, I was like, personally, I don't care. I don't care. And she looked at me like perplexed, like, how do you not care? And I was like, because I quoted a Nas song. And I was like, I don't work this hard to be around people I don't like. And I want y'all all to sketch that in your heads. I'm going to repeat it again. I don't work this hard to be around people I don't like. You got to be a special type woman to be in my life. You got to be a special type man to be in my life. You got to be a special type of person to feel what I write. And this is why I call my subscribers the elite fleet, because to even be able to understand the stuff I be talking about, you have to be elite. You can't be regular. You're not going to get it. You're not going to be able to keep up. And I was explaining to her that I'm like, look, at the end of the day, we all came from the same spot. None of us really had nothing. We all had to get it up out of the mud. But the difference is, right, when my cousins was out on the block selling drugs, I was in school focusing on my grades, playing sports, staying out of trouble. I didn't knock no girls up. A lot of them knocked the girls up, right? My sisters, they didn't get knocked up. A lot of my female cousins, they got knocked up. My cousin who I was just talking to, she didn't get knocked up. A lot of them, they got knocked up. Chasing behind the boys, not focusing on what they're supposed to be focused on. Let me tell you guys something. My cousin, who I was just telling y'all about, she was in the army. That's how she paid for school. She had to go to Afghanistan. She was in the trenches in Afghanistan. Y'all gotta understand that. Let me run that back. She was in the trenches in Afghanistan. In the trenches. So, how do you go to the trenches of Afghanistan, actually serve, come back, make it back alive, see things that we can't even imagine, see things that we can't even picture, right? Then go back to school, not only finish and complete your degree, but go on to get a doctorate, become a high six-figure earner, buy a house, get married, have a kid, and you feel bad that you can't go back, or you don't want to go back to dodge bullets so that your hood rat cousins can see your baby. You shouldn't feel bad about that. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I remember one time my mom got mad at me. Like, this was probably 4 years ago, because one of my cousins had just got out of jail, and growing up, we was mad close. And he needed someone to pick him up to bring him to my grandparents' house for Thanksgiving. And I told my mom, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to pick him up. And she's like, what you mean you're not going to pick him up? I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I drive a Dodge Charger with 20-inch rims, tints, chrome tailpipes, and it's an SRT8. If you think I'm about to drive through the hood, nobody in the hood really got nothing like that unless they doing something crazy. And I'm about to pick up a dude who just got out of jail for being involved in the murder. Granted, he didn't directly murder the dude, but still he was involved in that. He's a known gang maker just because he's my cousin and we grew up together. That's crazy. I'm like, you're not even thinking about the fact that it's putting my life in danger. Oh, but that's your cousin. It does not matter. It does not matter. And I'm saying all this to you guys because I need you to understand. When you make it out the hood, you have to make it out the hood. It was no reason for Takeoff to ever be shooting dice in that alley in the first place. There was no reason for Duke the Jeweler to be shooting dice out that concert in the first place. There was no reason for P&B Rock to be going to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in the hood in the first place. There was no reason for Pop Smoke's party to get put on Instagram. These are the things that happen when you don't accept where you are in life. When you work hard to live a certain lifestyle, you're supposed to leave certain things behind. Nobody works hard to be dodging bullets. Nobody works hard to be getting their car ramshacked. Can't park their car at night. Nobody works hard to be stressed out, hearing gunshots, all this stuff going on. Nah, you work hard to put yourself in a position where you don't have to do that, where you can live in the nicer areas of life, where you can have the finer things in life, where your family could be in the finer areas of life. Like, even right now, I live downtown. This is my first time ever living downtown. Nice view, nice balcony. But I be telling people, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to stay here. And they're like, why? I was like, because downtown puts you too close to the haves and have-nots. Because right now, like in my community, right, all the houses right down this block, they all nice, they all beautiful. But you go 2 blocks around the corner, it's crackheads. It's dealers on the corner. It's prostitutes on the corner. It's sirens going off all the time. It's helicopters all the time. Not for my block, for the block right there. And I'm like, yo, I got to go somewhere that's a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more quiet. I like being downtown just for the experience. It's dope. Be able to walk down, you know what I'm saying? Go to a baseball game, go to a football game, all the popping bars right here, right there, sit up on the rooftops, all that stuff is cool. But at the end of the day, you're in the middle of the hustle and the bustle, and it really points out to you the haves and the have-nots. And it really makes you appreciate certain things. You like, yo, you guys got to understand, you can't go back to the hood. Now, this doesn't mean you can't give back, right? I tell my cousins all the time, I'm like, yo, you're welcome to come down here whenever you want to come down here. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons I broke up with my ex is because she was originally from Trenton. And I was trying to instill this mindset in her head. I'm like, listen, we can't be going back to Trenton with everything we have just on a regular because your family, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to come over here. I remember one time I told her the same thing I told my family. I'm like, you're more than welcome to come over here to us whenever you want to. I remember they were like, oh, we can't afford it. But I even told her, straight up, I was like, I'll pay for your tickets. I said the same thing to my family. I'll pay for your tickets. Yeah, but then we got to get to the airport, and it was always an excuse. And at the end of the day, you got to be able to read between the lines, and this is a gym too. It wasn't the problem of getting down here. What they wanted is, because we're originally from the hood, they want us to come back to their level to meet them where they're at. They don't want to come up to our level. They don't want to be around the suited and booted. They don't want to be around the people whipping Teslas. They don't want to be on top floors, rooftop decks. They don't want to be in the places we are. They don't want to be at the mini mansion. Because it just reminds them of the life decisions that they made. See, if we go back to the hood, it's like how it was growing up. It feels like we all the same again. But instead of looking at our situations as motivation, they're like, nah, I don't even want to go there, even if you pay for it, even if you remove the barriers, because at the end of the day, it's just a reminder to them that you made it and they didn't. And at the end of the day, even if you get love in your hood, right? Even if your hood loves you, you guys gotta understand, if 8 people in the hood love you, so you go and you chill in the hood, right? Like, look at Young Dolph. If 8 people in the hood love you, right? And they show you love and you helping out and you're their inspiration by physically being there, all it takes is for those 2 people who don't love you, one of them to have a gun. And you pass away. Pow! You done. That's it. Your life is over. That's all it takes. See, everybody can, damn near everyone can like you, but if 2 people don't, that could be the end of your life. It's not worth the risk. And why should you feel guilty? Why should you feel bad? At the end of the day, again, similar to what I was saying, I'm the one who had to make sacrifices. I had to work and I had to go to college. They weren't willing to do that. They wanted to be cool. They wanted to be popping when they was young. You're the one who had to keep your legs closed. They wasn't willing to do that. They wanted to go shake their ass and be out here flying around and living that hot girl life. They didn't want to put in the work. I told you guys before, I got evicted one time. I was willing to sleep in my car. I was like, yo, I'm not going back. They wasn't willing to put in that work. They just went back. Like I said, my cousin was in Afghanistan dodging bullets. They wasn't willing to put in that work. Again, you don't work this hard to be around people you don't like. You want to give back to the hood. You know how I give back to the hood? I coach youth football, and I have a sassy program for women from ages 10 to 15. We talk about, we give them study help. We help them wearing heels and how to walk in heels and stuff, proper etiquette, all that. And I support a group that I helped start when I was in college called Brother to Brother. Same thing. We tell the boys how to have a tie, how to wear a suit. We go and collect some suits and donate to them and stuff. Proper etiquette, how to write a resume. That's the way I give back. In study halls. That's the way I give back. I give back from a distance. If I become a millionaire, you know what I would do? I would donate to my high school. Once a year, I go back to my high school. Well, not once a year, but every now and then I go back to my high school and speak. 3 years ago, I went back to my high school and spoke about how I got a movie on Amazon. So I'll do stuff like that. That's how I give back. But as far as hanging on the blocks, shooting dice, and all this stuff, nah. Why should I go and hang on a block and shoot dice with dudes who made the decisions to run drugs when I was in there studying and grinding so I can get out of there? I didn't work this hard to be around people I don't like. And a lot of these cats are still doing the same thing. We're not even talking about dudes moving up to cocaine or meth or anything like that. Nah, they still pushing entry-level drugs like marijuana. Listen, I didn't go out here and grind to be around dudes struggling out here moving marijuana and then one dude hating. It ain't even my cousin, it ain't even my man's. The whole hood showing me love, but that one dude hating, like, man, why he got all that? I'm about to get him. Bam, and my whole life over. It's not worth the risk. And you shouldn't feel guilty about that. Black people deserve to feel the same sense of relief when they become successful and live their life of luxury and have the finer things in life and sit front row and travel and experience the world just like every other race of people without feeling like they got to put the weight of the world on their shoulders. It's an impossible burden to say, okay, you made it, now you got to uplift your whole family. It's an impossible burden to say, okay, you made it, now you got to uplift the hood. It is an impossible burden to say, okay, you made it, now you got to come back. You can't live amongst the have-nots once you have. Because nobody's going to sit. You got to understand, ain't no dude going to be out there catching the bus every day, wearing raggedy clothes, in a house with a broken window, his heater and his furnace don't work, and you right across the street driving in luxurious cars. Your woman walking around in red bottoms. You walking around suited and booted. Your heat work. You sitting on a rooftop smoking joints. You traveling the world and all that, and think he not going to take it? What did Meek Mill say? If I ever go broke, I'm going to take your money. At an eventual time, eventually that envy, that green-eyed monster, which is one of the strongest emotions, they're going to try to take you out. I repeat, they're going to try to take you out. That's the only way it can end. And you guys got to understand that. So the guilt of success, it kills black people all the time. It holds black people back all the time. It ruins their life all the time. If you made it and you worked hard to make it, be unapologetic about making it. You can show love from a distance. Invite your family to come see you. Tell them they always welcome. At the end of the day, if they don't want to come, they don't want to see you that bad. Let me leave y'all with this gem. Y'all know why so many successful people get married? Why it's very rare to see a high earner not married? Because when you become a part of the 10%, you can only really hang with the 10%. I repeat, when you become a part of the 10%, you can only really hang with the 10%. You can visit the lower levels every now and then, like once a year, twice a year, something like that, but you can't hang with them. At the end of the day, the 10% is the 10%. So there's only so much of the 10%. So naturally, you're not going to have a lot of friends when you're successful. You're not going to have a lot of associates when you're successful. And then you got to put into the fact that most successful people are fake. So how many are really real up there? You're not going to have that big of a network. You're not going to have that big of a network. Now, if you introverted like me, that's fine. But if you extroverted, you like, damn, this kind of sucks. But guess what? That's where a good husband or a good wife comes in. That's where having a family and kids come in. Because you like, okay, I might only have like 3 or 4 friends who really get me, who really real and can operate in the level and hang in the places I hang. But I have a family at the end of the day so that I don't feel lonely. See, people of lower income, they always talk about, oh, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, blah, 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 blase, blase. Not all of that, but a lot of that comes from the fact that when you're of lower income, you can go to a party with the line going all the way around the block. When you're of lower income, you can go outside, you can pretty much be friends with anybody because y'all all in the same situation. There's no reason for anyone to hate on you. But when you extend, if you LeBron James, you can't be friends with everybody. You can't just go outside and make a friend. You don't just go to work and you got 40 coworkers and you just make a friend. You know what I'm saying? If you Nicki Minaj, same thing. You Michelle Obama, same thing. You Katy Perry, same thing. That's why a lot of the rich get married. So that way they have companionship on their level. It's even deeper than what y'all be thinking about. But I just wanted to do a quick discussion about that, man. Because like I said, a lot of black people, they run into this. They're like, okay, I made it, but what about the people I came up with? What about them? How's it going to work out for them? Should I go back? I got to be a real B or a real dude. You don't got to do that. You didn't work this hard to be around people you don't like. Be unapologetic, be successful, spread your wings, and fly. Do not go back to the hood. I repeat, do not go back to the hood. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.